Hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna talk about another mental model that's useful for you in order to take best decisions as much as possible in order so to get the most benefits in whatever is the field that you want to get prosperity in wealth, health, relationships and family. And then so I expect so you to help me by subscribing and posteriorly seeing other videos to make you a better person. And then so today we're gonna talk about one mental model that is gonna be so the matter that I've discussed today is going to be the systems thinking, something that you should adopt today, and even more with more importance today than it was in the past. And what is the system thinking? Is the mental model that it talks about the way that basically whatever is the things that happens in the world they work. So what I tend to think what I tend to think is like most people they see the world in fragments, but the reality is that the most successful ones I think they see it more as systems with a lot of nodes, connections between people. And then so basically I will explain you to how to apply these systems thinking in order so you to get a more type of holistic way to see the reality instead of just like the one that tends to see by fragments that doesn't have like interaction so with each other. So basically what could be a best way to you to understand the importance of that? Basically answering this question: if you ever tried fixing a problem only to realize later that your solution created even bigger problems, that's probably so a consequence of you have not adopted holistic type of way to see the reality. And this so I could this present to you. I have talked about this piece later. I think it was some videos ago. The wretched effect or cover effect. Then, what happened? The Indian governments they have like a lot of poisonous the cobras. Then so obviously will put their lives in risk. And then so what they will think? Well, I want them to not exist. So probably I have to put incentives in the people in order so to him make and probably go on to try to catch these cobras, and so obviously not be making him being non-existent, obviously by cutting their lives. And so whatever is or by each cover that some person presents as the one that is taken to life, I'm gonna so make him have are gonna so make him have a specific prize by making this action that is the one that I want to happen. And then so if someone that doesn't adopt system thinking, someone that adopts so fragment, what's you gonna see? Humans works by incentives. If I incentive an action that I want to take, obviously so the outcome will be positive because they will do the actions that obviously is going to create so the objective that I want. And the objective that I want doesn't exist too much poisonous cobras. If I incentive them to cut away the life of these cobras, so I'm working positively. So I'm working as a pragmat, but they didn't see the whole system the way they did works. That's what humans they work and have what they want to get utility, the most utility possible, so they work with incentives. And then so what I have to understand, probably this exists that people have the incentives to work toward a thing, and obviously if they see that they want to and they perceive that they're getting prizes, they will also remain doing the task. And then so what will be the smarts that the population will do? Probably they will even create more poisonous cobras to make them so in cutting away to present even more so and getting even more prizes. So in the past the objective was to obviously providing prizes by each cover that's cut away, and then so the population has so cut away of the life of this cover. But then so by having this perception that they will get in prizes, they even so get these covers and creating like make a creation like a farm, creating even more of them on their own to so get even more prizes. And then so what I've not considered in all this system, the system of that humans are greedy. And what I've not have encountered as well in this system is that probably exists a component that is the cobras that have like obviously the ability to dodge from being created in farms since they're animals that they want their needs getting satisfied, and not unless so if they're either provided with food, they're not so much uncomfortable in the environment. And then so obviously with that the humans put them in creations on their homes to create it and multiply and have you got control, and then so more easy the task of getting cut away the lives and presenting so to the government as covers that they have so cut, but instead they have created to multiply so the prizes that they will got. I have not created a component in the system. What? How easy was to get access to these covers and create them. I have not having count this component in the system, and then so the feedback that I've got is that when I perceive that people are doing it, obviously cut the prices, people now doesn't have a perception of utility about the remaining so doing the task, and then so they will what? They will get away and they will put these old covers again in the natural. What happened? It will even make worse the problem now because people have created, but then the prices cut away immediately, and then so all the cobras in multiplication that have happened by being so being cultivated in a farm, they will so everyone's gonna put again in nature, and then so we have the problem even get worse because I've not considered what could be something that could avoid all these things, putting incentives in people and then so making him have a price by each one that they cut, but as well working in a component of system that is how easy is the people to get access to these covers and creating in their homes to so create even more to say that they have cut away cut the ones that they have achieved in wireless, but in reality they have done so have get their they get there for their own in the putting in a farm and creating all system to even get higher multiplication and higher control about them. That's so a component in the system that I have not considered, which so bring me to what? Bring me a feedback that I was not expecting. And then so what was here that I've got to commit is not considering all the elements in a system which so bring a different feedback of what I was expecting. And so what was the problem? These ones have not applied the system thinking, they have like applied just a simple relations of causality of cause effect, and so obviously a type of problem has happened. So what do you have to understand that what are the key principles of any type of systems that are like the ones that we exist. A world is a system, a society is a system, like talking about the enterprise is as well a system, so we're all in systems, so it's important to understand systems. And then so what are the key principles of systems? Like the first principles: interconnectedness, so everything is linked in some way; feedback loops, actions create consequences that reinforce or counteract themselves; emergent behavior, the whole system behaves differently than just the sum of its parts; and non-linearity, small changes can lead to unexpected and disproportionate effects. Other thing, something is what is good for the system, other thing is what is good for the individuals. And this is the best the example I provided exemplifies that. For their own, it was so something as utility creating more poisonous covers in order to even more easy to cut their ways, cut their lives away, and then so presenting them as something that I've hunt occasionality by walking the streets. For me individually, something that's good because it gets me prices, that's what I want. But for the system at whole, it's different. So when I went to analyze some specific components, I have not to analyze as with the beliefs that what's good for the system, what system will do. I have to look for the individuals and obviously for what is the bubble that is around, but not having and not we have to consider what's good for the system, neither always is what is good for the people, which shows some type of actions that are taken by the individuals are not the ones that the system will wants to provide. Interconnectedness, obviously, social networks, social media, we have all the feedbacks that we get, news, photos, actualizations about what other ones do. feedback loops, obviously, and this even with the multiplications with leverage, because it's sometimes we have scalability is another component of system scalability. How easy is to get so the spread of info just by all people being connected is much more easier, because I provide one, other one has a lot of connections, with obviously each one having a other lot of connections, with so the information is a lot spread. That's why social media networks obviously are useful to spread informations, to things to go viral and things like that. So we have to understand these components that obviously are characterizations of what is a system. The example I provide helps me to understand why these key principles are important. So be understanding what the each people individuality, understanding how they behave, understanding so what their principles to behave, so understanding each component of the system would be so prone to understand the emergent behavior then so could happen by the way that these elements works, obviously with their own needs, with their own type of interests, that so creates a whole type of feedback for the type of system that I'm included. That is a emergent because I have not considered by how much is the complexity that a system has by having so much people having interconnectedness, which so it would be avoided if I had the ability to remain in my mind what are the key principles of system, and then so if I want to create a solution for a system, I have to consider the principles and what they mean and what so they can create as feedback. That's mainly what I want to manipulate, and that's one. Normally, what are the problems of not adopting system thinking? Feedback that I would like to get is not the one that I get, is the one that then I reality get, because I don't understand elements that are present in the system. Emergent behavior happens because obviously I have not having the control. That will be something that I will more prone to have if I have the enough knowledge about the system and their elements that are in the composition of the system, the interconnectedness between the people, how easy is to the interconnection in the example that I gave, that creates some feedback, even more poisonous covers being present in the nature after I cutting the price. What was the interconnectedness that I have not considered? The one that is the elements that are needed to cultivate and proliferate like cobras. Then probably people will getting the like accessibility, then so makes it their lives more easy to cultivate and create a farm of cobras, then so multiplies the ones that I could so cut away and present to me in order to get the prizes. Was a error that I've committed. So basically, what I want to get is the key principle of system thinking, intercognises, the elements that are individual and their own needs are different than what is the main type of thing that a system a whole would like. Feedback loops, so the connections that I have between people that create so positive things, negative things. Emergent behavior, the whole system behaves differently than just the sum of its parts. Basically that, and non-linearity. Small changes can lead to unexpected and disproportional effects because the complexity that exists in a system by people having contact with a lot of different things, which so by having so much things connected, we can so create a lot of feedbacks. By having a system, a society, which people seek for profit and then so create entrepreneurship, obviously will be provided resources that will be able people to cultivate things as a cobra in their life. Was a component in the system that I've not considered, is a component that I've not so regulated, these connection that have so could be created, a feedback so was created that I was not prepared to exist, and then so emergent behavior created, and obviously exponentially I have made it worse the problem that I've got initially. So I expect these videos helped you to understand better this concept, and I expect as well to help it in your life. So see you in the next one.